Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And I have some money advice for you. So I asked the cards for advice for six different categories, six different types of people who end up seeing this reading at this time. So go ahead and let Spirit draw you towards whichever of these six piles is meant for you. If you by some chance need a image still of just a picture of the cards, you can check my Facebook or my Instagram because I normally post pictures of the cards on there. And other than that, I'll just give you a minute. So these readings are going to have three different cards in each one, and it's going to tell us about our current situation, what is blocking us from succeeding, and how we can achieve better, more fulfilling success in the future. So we're going to go ahead and start with card number 1, and then we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so pile number 1. Okay, so the first card we have here is the Six of Swords. And I'm seeing that this is a situation where you're really moving on. You are looking for better days. You are ready to leave any of the negativity of the past behind you. You are basically ready for better shores, for brighter days, and to have a beautiful and fulfilling life with yourself and those you care about the most. So this could be you and your loved one together. It could be you and your child. For some people, it could just be you and your closest friends. So I'm seeing that this is a situation that's not just about you, and it's not just about you succeeding and being able to get yourself out of a bad situation, but it's about the people around you who are closest to you being able to see better days as well. What is blocking you? I'm feeling like this is someone who's kind of show-offy, who's kind of flashy, and who lives for drama, who wants the drama to continue, who wants the bad cycles to continue to perpetuate themselves. So this is kind of a chaotic energy that's getting in your way and that's keeping you in a bad loop, that's keeping you in a cycle that you don't want to be involved in, and is creating these bad situations that you ultimately end up having to get away from. So this is someone who is a really bad influence, and it could be your own inner demons giving you bad advice, pushing you towards bad things, bad people, bad relationships. It could also be a coworker or someone who keeps creating drama. And then for your advice card, we have the 10 of Coins. So this is about relaxing a little bit, because I know you've been through some stressful times here, but you do need still to be able to unwind and relax and do what it takes in order to be able to get yourself to that point where you're no longer stressing out about money and you feel like you're taken care of, to a point where you're able to continue to take care of other people. So especially if you have kids, if you have other people who rely on you and who depend on you, you really need to feel at ease. You really need to feel whole and like you yourself are being taken care of as well. It's not all about hard work. You don't need to keep pushing yourself harder. You don't need to keep working harder in order to achieve your goals. This is about you showing yourself more appreciation and expecting the people around you to show more appreciation as well. So for some of you, you're going to have to ask for a raise. You might have to apply to a different job that pays a little bit more so you can afford the kinds of self-care that you have been depriving yourself of in the past. And that is the key to making more money for you right now. All right, next we have pile number 2. And I'm seeing you're in a situation where you feel really sad. You feel like you have not been taken care of, like you have not had your needs met. And it feels really cold. It feels really alone. There's probably someone who has abandoned you, someone who is supposed to take care of their end of the responsibilities, who didn't really do it. and who needed to step up, but again, they didn't do it. And it left you in a bad situation. It left you abandoned, and it left you uncared for. And the obstacle that is blocking you, I feel like this is a sensation that you got what you deserved. You've been telling yourself that you got what you deserved, and this bad thing happened because of some dumb reason. Who honestly knows what dumb reason? Whatever silly thing you've been telling yourself about why you're just not good enough and you just don't deserve better things. It's lies you've been telling yourself. You have been lying to yourself. You have been hurting yourself internally. You have been psychologically tormenting yourself and preventing yourself from being able to move on to better things. Now, your advice card is the King of Coins. No, actually the King of Cups. My bad. It's the King of Cups. And he is here to tell you that you need to carry a little bit more of a backbone all throughout life. Like, you are a sensitive person. You are intuitive. I'm sorry about that. We're midway through dinner right now, cooking dinner. So now that the beeping has stopped, this is telling you that you are a loving person. You are a sensitive person. You are someone who, has been hurt by these environmental factors in your life, these people, these bad circumstances, but also kind of hurt by your own inner turmoil and hurt by you putting yourself down and not expecting better for yourself. So this is saying that you can be loving, you can be sensitive, but you can also be fierce. You can also go after what you want. You can also demand better for yourself. You can treat yourself with more love and more compassion and, do what you have to do to make that happen. Stand up for yourself and your own relationships so that you don't continue to have bad people who take advantage of you and put you in bad situations. So a lot of this reading, I know this is about money, but this all came out looking very emotional, and it has affected you financially. The Five of Coins is telling us that it has affected you financially, and that's why you're here, and that's why you're doing this reading. But it all came from your emotional inner workings and what's really going on in your head and the types of people you have attracted. So this is saying attract better relationships both in business and in love. And you're going to do that by having a backbone and not being afraid of being ferocious. Don't be afraid to let out your side where you speak up about what you actually want, and you especially speak up about what you actually need. Okay. So we're moving on now to pile number 3. Okay, so we got really a kind of dramatic setup going on with this one. So your first card about your situation is the Lovers. So I feel like it's really that everything feels right and perhaps a little bit too right. Like, you might be a little distracted in other things going on in your life right now, and it's taking away some of your energy and some of your investment that you would normally be spending on career, on work, and earning income. So this isn't really a bad thing that's going on in your life right now. For some of you, it could be. It could be that you're distracted by a loved one. And honestly, that's what it is for everyone. You are distracted by your love life right now. For better or for worse, you are distracted by your love life. And then the obstacle card here is the Seven of Coins. And I'm seeing these two guys, these two men, kind of staring each other down. And one has this kind of I don't care attitude, and the other one really has this ferocious intensity where they are staring you down. So I feel like this is showing that there's a dynamic in your life where, one person and also kind of one side of you is saying that it's okay and that you don't need to go after higher income and that you don't need more success, and it's okay to just be content with what you have. And then the other side of you is saying, no, you need to work harder. You need to go after more. And there's also a little bit of an underlying fear. If I don't keep working hard, if I don't keep pursuing my goals, then it might end up destroying everything that I've already worked for. So there's kind of like an underlying warning going on here, like a feeling of, I know I shouldn't be so distracted right now. But for now, it seems like it's okay and nothing really bad has happened yet. Although I know that it might. I know that it could. It could actually turn into a situation where I have to start worrying about money more again. So this is your advice card. It's the King of Coins, and this is the nice turtle card with the tree growing on his back. So this is really about creating something that is self-sustaining, something that can last, something that can provide indefinitely. So you might already have a pretty good source of income. That's the vibe that I'm getting from this reading. You're already stable. You're not suffering financially. You're in a good position. You're in a position that's better than most. And that allows you to be a little bit more lax, a little bit more laid back, not worrying about things. But this card is saying that you really need to solidify your future, and not just for yourself right now, today, but for yourself when you are 60 years old, when you are 70, maybe if you have other people in your life and in your family who need support. Maybe your parents will need some financial support as they start to get older. So this is about creating something for your posterity, for the other people in your family, and something lasting and that is self-sustaining, that will continue to grow and continue to provide even when you can't control all of the environmental factors around you. So this is really what you want. This is what your goals need to be focused and centered around. It's solidifying what you have already built in a way that it can continue to grow and continue to sustain you no matter what happens. So basically getting ready for the winter. I'm tempted to quote Game of Thrones now, but I actually don't even watch Game of Thrones. I'm just familiar with that quote, "Winter's coming." So I feel silly. Okay, now we're moving on to pile number 4. Okay, so the first card we have here about what is going on is the Queen of Coins. So you are most likely a mother. In one meaning or another, you are a mother, you are a provider, you are someone who's taking care of your community and the people around you. So this is either like Earth Mother type, where you take care of people who are not your own biological child, or it's literally that you are a physical mother with babies, or at least one baby of your own. And the card we got about what is blocking you right now is the Page of Coins. So I feel like this is saying that you're getting mildly distracted to some extent just with the pleasantries of life, but it's not necessarily in a sense that you're really, stopping to smell the roses and enjoy yourself. It's that you are stopping to make sure that everything's okay. Because like I said, this is a mother bear type. So you're checking to make sure that everyone around you is okay. You're having a lot of interactions with others, and it doesn't even look like they necessarily need you every time when you do this, but you are still stopping what you're doing to go check on them, and then you don't have the same amount of time or the same degree of mental focus as you would otherwise. So you might have to get things a little bit more organized, really just for the sake of your own headspace, so that you can focus more on providing for them and not have to focus so much on the small things. Like, your kid comes up to you and they have this like weird spot on their toe, but it's really just that they stepped on a piece of fuzz and they wanted you to confirm that it's fuzz, even though they probably already knew it was fuzz. So like really little weird things like that. Okay, and then your advice card. So Two of Swords, it usually comes up a little bit more as a challenge. And this is really saying that your challenge here is to focus. Your challenge here is to put yourself in a headspace where you cannot be easily distracted. This is a mental battle. One of the biggest challenges in meditation is when we have something that is actually there distracting us. So you might have to view your work and what you do as a meditative practice, so that when you see something come up that tries to take away your focus and tries to distract you from what you need to be doing, and this can also be a safety thing, especially if you're a farmer, you're doing some kind of physical labor, you're working with animals, which I feel like is likely for a lot of people who got this pile. If you are doing something, maybe you're cooking, especially if you're cooking, if you're in the kitchen and you've got a knife, being distracted can be dangerous. So you need to view it as a mental challenge and a way to train your brain to make yourself stronger so that you can focus on what you're doing and, maybe be receiving and be willing to take in that information about what's going on with the other people in your household and the other people around you. But you're still able to find your zen and either go back to what you were doing more quickly or continue to focus, assess the situation, and if it's someone who doesn't actually need your help, continue to go back to what you're doing. Just 100%. Do not stop what you are doing and stay focused. So this is about not just eliminating distractions, but learning how to deal with them a little bit better. All right, pile number 5. All right, so this looks like it's a situation where you're the boss, you're the one in charge, you're the one who's calling all the shots. So you're either owning your own business or you already rank fairly high in your company. And even if they haven't given you a promotion yet, you're still kind of someone that people go to for answers. People rely on you a lot at your job and with what you do professionally. You have a very important role. Now, this obstacle here is about a fear of loss. It's about kind of a looming feeling like I have to protect my resources. I can't let anyone else take what's mine or steal from me. So for some reason, it looks like something kind of bad has happened, and there's some degree of paranoia here. There's some degree of worry, either that someone's going to say something that could hurt you financially, someone's going to do something that can hurt you financially, and you're probably someone who's been burned before in the past. You know that things, they can actually get worse. But this is you being the person in power and then still being afraid that something's going to happen that'll kind of take you out of your power. So let's see what the advice card here is. Okay, the advice card, I believe this is the 4 of Swords. So what I'm getting from this is you are unintentionally self-sabotaging. You're kind of choking yourself up, so to speak. And whenever you're about to really succeed, to really manifest the level of success that you deserve, you do something to kind of almost shoot yourself in the foot so that you can't get to where you actually want to be. So this is basically saying you have a habit of financially self-sabotaging. And, this reading, it's not about what has caused these fears. It's not about what has caused this anxiety. I understand you have it for some reason and you're worried about losing what you have. But I think you have developed a habit of kind of causing yourself to lose things for some reason. And I feel like it's, for one, you have such strong leadership tendencies. You are bold, you are brave, you are ready to go out and fight the good fight. But that also means that you're not willing to exercise caution in what it is that you are actually doing. And that's something that is creating a lot of issues for you and preventing you from being able to make more money and preventing you from being able to get the pay that you should be making with your level of knowledge and with your level of expertise. So in this fear of not making money, it's also kind of causing you to refuse to take care of yourself and refuse to exercise caution. So this is a really concerning group of cards, and you are someone who needs, you need to exercise caution in what you're doing. That's basically what it comes down to. All right. Now we're moving on to pile number 5. Okay, so your situation here is represented by the 3 of Wands, and as you can see, we literally have a woman who is climbing the ladder right now. So you can take this very literally in doing a reading about money. You're climbing the ladder, you're trying to get to where you actually want to be. But your obstacle is that you're kind of afraid of what's on the other side. You're afraid of real, genuine evolution. You're afraid of evolving. You're afraid of letting yourself develop and change into something totally different from what you have known before. And then your advice card is the Moon. So this is saying that the best thing that you can do is really be in tune with yourself and really know yourself so that you'll know that these changes don't really need to be so scary. You don't need to be afraid of what's on the other side of the curtain. You don't need to be afraid of what you evolve into as you continue to climb the ladder. Maybe you're afraid you're actually going to lose your sense of self. Maybe you're afraid you're going to turn out like some of the other people that you have seen in your life. Maybe you just have never seen your life be different. Maybe you just got used to things the way they were, and that's kind of what's holding you back and making you a little bit afraid of making this change. But let me tell you, especially if you're watching this the week that I uploaded it, this is a great week for making changes. That, like, honestly, in 2020, there's been a lot of forced changes that we had tried to resist for a long time that are coming anyway. So this is a good year, and specifically a good week for making those changes. So how can you actually get to know yourself more? How can you become more familiar with yourself? This might mean getting a little nostalgic, going down memory lane, looking at old pictures, looking at your old yearbook. If you have a diary especially, oh yeah, that's the best one. If you have a diary from when you were younger, whether it's your early 20s, whether it's your adolescence, anything you can find, kind of go back through that and connect with yourself and take it as an opportunity to learn something about yourself. You don't have to be stuck in the past and continue to be the person that you were all along. You can evolve, you can change, and you don't have to be afraid of doing that. But this is a moment for learning about yourself and seeing yourself kind of in a new light. Another way you could do this, of course, is I wouldn't say just look at your astrology chart, but specifically look at your progress chart and start to study your progress chart to see the ways that you've kind of changed over time, so you can connect with yourself, not just from the past, not just getting stuck in the way that you were when you were 17, but seeing and learning to appreciate the way you've grown over time. You know, change is natural. Change is a part of nature. Even the moon changes all throughout the month. The water changes, the scenery on the ground changes. Everything changes naturally in time, and it's still the same thing it was before at its core, but it's going through cycles, it's going through phases, and, you know, letting yourself change, letting a part of yourself, you know, this part that was still climbing up the ladder, this part that was still struggling, letting this part of yourself die doesn't mean that you're not going to be you anymore. You're still going to be you. So learn to appreciate that and have some fun with it. All right, well, that was your pick a card reading for today. I hope that gave you some great advice on how to make more money, how to live a more fulfilling life, and I hope to see you again. If you would like to help support me on Patreon, then the link will be below. The link will be below in the description. So I would really greatly appreciate that, and you'll get exclusive access to some series that are not necessarily appropriate for YouTube, that I don't make available to the public, and I'm planning to do more exclusive content over the coming weeks. So I hope to see you there. Bye.